Hello and welcome to my 30th birthday. Yay! Today is my 30th birthday, November 3rd, 2011, and strangely, I am very excited to turn 30. I'm actually going to make another video about it, and it's just going to be kind of like a photo montage going over the last 30 years of my exciting life. But let me get on topic for you guys who are watching about weight loss stuff. First off, this is week 7 and 8 of my Losing the Regain series. I'm consistently weighing between 150 and 151. I'm happy with that. I consider myself maintaining, so I'm actually going to stop with the weekly weigh-ins as of this point. You guys will still catch me monthly as I have different topics I want to talk about, but I feel like I'm back in maintenance. Over the last, for the 5 weeks that I tracked what I was eating and paid more attention to my habits, I did say that I didn't think I had made any changes and I was unsure why I had gained weight. When you pay attention to yourself for longer than a week, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, you start noticing, okay, maybe there were some things that I was doing. The biggest thing that started to make me gain weight was just little random bites of stuff here and there. Being in the kitchen and taking a bite of a granola bar and taking a swig of milk. Those random little bites here and there. Maybe they don't show up on the scale that week or the next week, but after a couple months of all those little random bites, they do add up. So that's the main thing I've cut out is, being careful not to do those sort of things. I have so much to say. I went to a conference. Oh, let me back up. First, I had talked to you guys last time about that I approached a woman who God had led me to speak to about her weight, and she did respond very well. She was excited that I contacted her. And I just wanted to make it clear that I wasn't contacting her about weight loss surgery. I wasn't telling her, hey, I think you should get weight loss surgery. Those of you that don't know, I'm a substance abuse counselor. Right now I'm not working in substance abuse, but I am a counselor. I do outpatient counseling. I also have a certification in nutrition and wellness. So when I approached her, it was actually for me to meet with her weekly and help her, not for me to recommend surgery to her. If that was an option that she wanted to go down that road, definitely I would give her all the information I have, but I don't believe that someone has to have surgery to lose weight. I am more than happy to help people who either have decided to go the surgery route or people who have decided they want to do it without surgery. But the exciting news is at her highest, she told me she weighed 440 pounds, and she had already lost 40 pounds. Previous to me meeting her, but she said the last 6 weeks or so she was hanging out around 403 and she hadn't been able to get below 400 for as long as she could remember. Well, she went on my plan that I gave her, and after 4 days she hit 399, so that was super awesome. She was very excited to break into the 300s, and unfortunately, strangely as it is, she actually moved. So her and I got to meet. I think we met 3 times, and then she moved out to, I don't know, somewhere out west where her husband was already waiting for her. But we're going to communicate by phone, and I gave her all sorts of information, and we're going to talk at least once a week, and I'm going to help her out. So just wanted to kind of update people. And also, when I said I was going to approach my family, it also was not that I was going to tell them that they needed surgery. I want to approach my family about some of the choices of the food I see them bringing to holidays. I see them bringing a lot of highly processed foods, things that are coming out of a box in a can, and I just kind of want to talk to the importance talk to them about the importance of eating things that are in their natural state, cooking your own food, eating healthy, all that sort of stuff. So that is all. That's the updates on that. Sorry, I feel like I'm talking super fast, but I'm excited and I have a lot to say. I went to a conference. Again, like I said, I'm a therapist and I have to do these continuing education credits, and I always try to choose ones that have to do with addiction because that's really, where my passion lies. And when one came up concerning emotional eating, I got excited because it's like, wow, both of the things I'm really interested in, food and addiction, and how they both kind of, go hand in hand for some people. It was Dr. Edward Abramson who wrote a couple different books. The one that I had actually heard of was called It's Not Just Baby Fat. And he's a psychologist who works a lot with people who are in weight loss programs, more specifically people that are having weight loss surgery or that have had weight loss surgery. But in his practice, he meets with all different people. He's met with anorexic people, bulimic people, yada, yada, yada. The first shocker was that during I think the conference was like 6 hours, you guys are never going to believe this, showed YouTube videos of people like me that are doing video logs of their journeys. So I thought that was very interesting that there's actually doctors and researchers out there that use YouTube as a way to collect data on people. And I'm actually going to contact the two people that he showed, and I'm going to let them know, hey, there's this doctor that used you as an example to teach people about the mindset of someone that's going through emotional eating. So that was pretty awesome, and thank God he didn't show me. I mean, it would have been okay, but it would have been kind of embarrassing to be sitting there and like I think there was like 8 of my coworkers, for them to recognize me and like then be able to go back and watch everything I've ever said. So, yeah, that would have sucked. But oh well, whatever. It's out here for everyone to see. So that's the first thing I want to say, is that he showed a lot of YouTube video, or 2 YouTube videos. He's a very smart man, but I can tell that the majority of his knowledge comes from secondhand experience, meaning he hears people talking about their problems with food, but he's never experienced it himself. And one thing that bothered me about what he says or what he thinks is that he doesn't see any physical component to people's issues with food. And I myself know 100% without a doubt that certain foods set me off, certain foods cause the crazy carb monster to come out. Certain foods want me to keep eating and eating and eating and eating. There's a true physiological thing that's going on inside of me. I'm very affected by MSG. It affects my mood. I'm affected by gluten. There's a lot of different things with food that affect our mental and physical state, and I kind of didn't like that he doesn't see that. Again, he's never went through it, so it's hard for him to see something he's never fully experienced. Excuse me. One thing I thought was cool that he said weight loss is effortful, meaning that it's something that you have to be working at. And he said that researchers made a study, and they realized that people make 221 decisions every single day concerning their diet, their nutrition, their food. And out of 221 decisions that we have to make a day, whether it's what time am I going to eat, what am I going to eat, how much am I going to eat, when am I going to stop, what am I going to drink with it, 221 decisions, I'm not going to make all of them right. And it's very irrational to focus on when we make a mistake and say, oh my God, I ate too much, I'm always going to be fat, I'm never going to lose weight, the rest of the day is ruined. And I have to say that now that I've been maintaining my weight loss for, I think, almost 2 years, that is the biggest thing that's different from back when I used to diet till now is letting go of that guilt and shame. If I make a mistake, or if I eat something that I, kind of wish I wouldn't eat, certain unhealthy foods, I don't beat myself up anymore. In the past, I would beat myself up, and then it's like you feel so bad about it, so then you go eat more. And what's interesting is that's kind of my theory of how drug and alcohol addiction works with I've worked with substance abusers for almost 5 years, and that's what I see more often, is that they'll be clean for a while, they make a mistake, and maybe they go out one night and they drink with their friends, and it's not, nothing else keeps that relapse going except for the guilt and the shame they feel. They feel so bad that they messed up, that they just continue drinking and using. And I noticed that it's the same thing with people in food. They're on a diet and they mess up and they feel so bad that they just go back to their old eating ways. And it's very irrational and unhealthy to think that way. So, next time you make a mistake, remember, hey, I have to make 221 decisions a day about food. I'm not going to get them all right. And even me, who's maintaining my weight now, I don't get all my decisions right. It's my birthday and I've been eating whatever I want to today. It doesn't mean I'm eating like a crazy maniac. It doesn't mean I'm eating unhealthy food, but I'm not going to make myself feel bad because I had a cookie on my birthday and then, just eat horrible the rest of the day and the rest of the week and the rest of the month and say, oh, I'll start over January 1st. It doesn't work that way. It's a minute by minute decision sometimes when it comes to food stuff. Okay, I've been rambling too long on that because I really want to get into this other stuff because I feel like it's very pertinent for some of you people out there. A couple other things he said that kind of stuck out to me was not being active is abusing your body. Doesn't mean that we have to obsessively exercise, but it does mean we need some sort of physical motion. And he referred to something as NEAT, N-E-A-T, and that stands for non-exercise activity energetics. So in other words, things like taking the stairs instead of the elevator, parking in a farther out spot, cleaning your house. For me, my non-exercise activity energetics that I get is I work on houses, so that's very physical labor. So I don't necessarily have to go to the gym because I'm active in my daily life. Okay, most important thing I want to talk about today, because I watch a lot of videos out there and I see some unhealthy behaviors going on and I get concerned for people. And yes, maybe most of you won't approach others when you see something going wrong, but as a therapist, that is somewhat my job. And maybe that's my job, but it's also somewhat my life passion to help people. So what I want to talk about is bulimia. A lot of people, when you think of a bulimic, probably the first thing you think of is binging and purging. You think of someone that eats a bunch of a food all at once and then throws it up. There is bulimia where someone does not purge. They don't throw the food up. So the reason that I wanted to talk about this is because I hear some people having obsessive and compulsive behaviors and thoughts when I'm watching different videos, and like I said, I get a little bit worried. And some of the things that go along with bulimia, and I'm going to read here from a list: preoccupation with weight, diet, and calories, overemphasis on the importance of weight, frequent comparison of diets with others, mood fluctuates with weight, the taking of laxatives, fasting, excessive exercising, and it's kind of like, it's like we've went from being obsessive and compulsive about being fat, obsessing about food and compulsively eating it, to kind of switching on the other thing and still obsessing about body size and compulsively doing other things like exercising, or the things like fasting to bring the weight down, or taking laxative to bring weight down. And it's all a body image issue that was never solved. So for those of you out there that maybe you are still constantly obsessed with the numbers, constantly checking your weight, your mood is affected by if it goes up or down, you beat yourself up, you go long periods without eating, you have to get to the gym every single day. Those are not necessarily healthy behaviors. Yes, it's good to work out, but it's not good to excessively, obsessively and excessively work out. I guess that's all I wanted to say, because I've been talking for quite a while now, and hopefully I didn't offend anybody. I'm not talking to one specific person. I'm just talking to a lot of people, and a lot of people in general that I've kind of heard some things, and then after I went to the conference, and he kind of cemented some of these things I was already thinking, that somebody can be a normal weight person and still have weight issues, because it's very much an emotional thing. So anywho, thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day, and bye-bye.